In this episode, we're going to be showing you guys the valving between the EnduraPro Plus and the Flex Z. Are they in fact similar or are they different? In addition to that, we're going to show you guys the differences in strokes between them, if there are any in fact, and why we think we should use one for a specific purpose versus the other. Check it out. All right, so we're going to start with the front damper. So first thing I've done is I've gone to the stiff end, so righty-tighty, all the way stiff. Same thing on the EnduraPro Plus damper. As you can see, this is for the Flex Z coilover because you have a threaded body here, so you can adjust the height of the vehicle. So now we're going to go ahead and get these compressed and show you guys the rebound. So they are both rebounding at very, very similar rates. You can see that this one has more stroke in it, so it took a little bit longer to get to the end, but they were both moving at a pretty similar rate. So now we're going to go to the soft end on both. Repeat the process. Much easier to compress, and the rebound should be substantially faster. They moved very fast. So I have a suspicion that these are both valved very, very similarly. So there's your stiff and your soft ends on the front dampers. Let's compare the rears. So for the rear on the Flex Z, again, you have a threaded body. You can adjust the overall length of this shock. Tein does have recommended settings for both the front and the rear, which I do believe you should keep and follow their recommendations. You have a few ways to access the adjuster on the rear of the Flex Z, and this is why you're able to incorporate a servo in there for electronic damping or active damping. Then you got some ports on the side. So once this thing is installed in the chassis, you would pop these grommets out so you can access the adjuster from the side. You won't be able to get to the top. But for demonstration purposes, I've removed the top. It's all the way stiff. Okay, so that's done. Let's go to the EnduraPro Plus damper. Let's move this adjuster all the way stiff. Okay, so those are both done. So one thing you want to note is that there's a difference in stroke in the rear dampers. So the EnduraPro Plus has almost 2 inches of more stroke than the Flex Z. You will see that when you lift this up, this is essentially where the top of the shaft is. And then you've got all the way down to here. So you got about this much room versus this. So that plays a huge role into what we'd recommend and for what purpose, depending on the ride height that you're going for, your objective. Okay, we've already got this thing set to full stiff. So we're going to go ahead and repeat the process. Double check. All right, so the compression feels very similar, just like the front. And look at that, they're virtually moving at the exact same rate. I would imagine the Flex Z will top out before the EnduraPro Plus because it has less stroke. But they do seem very similar. And there you go, that's done. All right, so now let's go to the soft end. much easier. This is going to move very fast. So as soon as I let go, yeah. So they look to move at very similar rates for both rebound and compression. I hope you could see that in the video. Now, we get this question all the time, which is why we wanted to demonstrate this. So people ask us when they should get the Flex Z and when they should get the EnduraPro Plus. And what I tell people is, if they want to retain their factory ride height, then the EnduraPro Plus is what you want. Although the Flex Z can get to the factory ride height on a Model Y, not on a Model 3, but on a Model Y, this shock is pretty distended. It doesn't have a lot of droop when you set it to factory ride height, and that feels like it produces a stiffer ride. So if you do want to retain factory height, I do recommend going with this product. It'll save you a bunch of money. You'll be much happier. I might actually, just for fun, take this rear damper and put it on my Flex Z to see how that feels at a factory ride height. The only downside to doing that is that you'll lose the EDFC, the active damping capability, because you won't have this upper mount that can hold the motor. So that's the only downside. I don't know if a lot of people are going to get the active damping, but that might be an option where you could actually buy these additional to the Flex Z if you do want to be at factory ride height. So check it out. Maybe we'll come out with that in a new episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.